All right. So now that you've watched those two short videos on being in third person and past tense and our by zombies way to check, let's go ahead and take a look at an example of a paper. And so this one is analyzing the potential of an extract from ginkgo biloba leaves to discover their anti-tumor potential. Right? And so if we look at the methods section from this paper, you can notice there is a large header with the materials and methods, and you've got the chemicals and the drugs, and then you've got the plant materials. And then if we go over for the methods components, you've got two sections here that are shown. There are other sections as well. We don't have the full paper here. But some of the things that you can see, they start with their materials. And again, instead of having a list, it's written in paragraph form. And it's all written in third person and just very stark, right? It's very succinct and just tells you the absolute minimal detail that you need to know to be able to reproduce this experiment, right? So it gives you where you can order your chemicals from. The plant materials a little more difficult because it was purchased from a local market. But one of the cool things they did here is that they kept voucher specimens of their sample, were kept in the Museum of the Department of Pharmacognosy with Faculty of Pharmacy, Cairo University in Egypt. And so this is often done when natural products research is being done. They take a small voucher sample from it and they keep it because natural products from things that are grown in nature can really vary a lot depending upon where that plant was grown and what the conditions were that it was grown in. So different amounts of water, different soil, different temperatures for the growth can cause the plants to produce different compounds. And so maybe a ginkgo biloba extract from here has anti-tumor activity, but one that was grown in the United States in Minnesota, for example, maybe it doesn't have those same compounds. So it's important that you keep these voucher specimens for that reason. So then when you get into the methods, you'll again notice that they're all in third person past tense and tell exactly what was done in the experiment. So this first one, right? The ginkgo biloba leaves methanolic extract was prepared by adding 2,000 mils of 70% methanol to 1 kilogram of ginkgo biloba leaves and leaving the mixture for 72 hours. You see there's a typo in there. And then the extract was filtered using filter paper. And you could add in here by zombies at the end, and that would give you a good example of that third person passive tense. Right? You'll also notice in here as well that they do have references or in-text citations. So you also learned about referencing this week, and the in-text citations are very important. Anytime you get information from a previous publication, you need to do in-text citations. And then if we had their final references sections up here, we would be able to find the Van Beek paper from 2002, look up this information, and we would get information to preparing ginkgo biloba extracts. All right. So this is a nice example of a methods section. And that's actually what you're going to work on is getting some practice trying to write a methods section this week. So your homework will be to convert a bioprotocol procedure into a methodology section. And so this should be in past tense and third person. You should tell why you use the materials or what the materials were used for, what kinds of data you collected and how things were measured. But you should not include the act of gathering the materials or cleaning up or who did what or any of the actual results or observations or data. So these will go into the results and discussion sections. So your homework So in your homework for this week, you're going to write your narrative in full sentences in paragraph form rather than as bulleted or numbered objectives. You want to include the ingredients where appropriate and use the by zombies technique to help check your sentence structure for your passive voice. If there's safety notations that are important, you can put those in as well. So here's an example. In the procedure, it might be put the strawberry into the Ziploc bag. And then if you're writing this in the methodology, you would say one strawberry was placed into the Ziploc bag by zombies, right? Don't actually put the by zombies in there, but you can do that to make sure you're in the passive voice. You never use I or we in the methodology section of a peer-reviewed paper. All right, so you can't actually ask me questions here, but you can always ask me questions. So if you have questions about this material or any material in the class, please feel free to shoot me an email. I can answer questions by email if they're simple. If they're not, you can make an appointment with me to come in and talk in person or by Zoom. All of these opportunities are totally fine. So great. That's all I have for you this week. Happy writing and turning in your methods section for this week. You also have some short answer questions as well in that Canvas quiz format for the 2 sections that you're reading, 2 or 3 sections that you're reading for your homework this week. All right.